Hey, do you have any recipes for pumpkin pie? Also a literary agent.
Hey, a friend said I was asking you about your pie.
Oh, I didn't put pumpkin. Ah, damn it.
1980s now.
Cool. All right. Welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its continued influence today. Hey, my name's Will. Joining me, as always, are my friends and co-hosts, Kat and John. Hey, guys.
Hello, guys.
Howdy, howdy.
On today's show, we're going to review current news stories related to 1980s media, including, I'm going to do it this way.
Do it.
Breakdancing is back.
Never left.
The greatest American hero is back.
Believe it or not.
Khan is back.
Oh, my.
Kirk is back. Dick O'Halloran is back. And Anaconda is back.
Wow, everything's back.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
We're back because we're back. In honor of us being back,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
And baby got back.
And baby got back.
Speaking of.
Very nice, Cat.
Thank you.
Connection there. Nicely done.
Hey, if you want to jump around, regardless of what John may, just how John may discourage you, there's time codes. There's like chapter links in the podcast app that you're listening to us on, so you can click around if you want. I do that sometimes, John, because I want to skip over a story that I know we weren't as good on, so I'll just skip it. I'm being serious.
I like to really just savor the stories that didn't go great.
Aw.
Yeah,
I just go, oh, here it comes. Like a train wreck you can't look away from,
Okay.
I can't skip it.
Think of all the ways it could have been better.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. Learn from my mistakes.
You made me think of those, the pleasure principle, right? Freud said pleasure is the removal of pain, I think. So you're right. You can't enjoy those parts of the show unless you listen to all of it. I don't know. Maybe.
There is no light without darkness.
There you go. Right. Hey, speaking of darkness, give Gen X Grown Up a listen.
What a
Speaking
segue.
of stuff you want to skip.
Yeah. Our good buddy here, John, hosts his very own media empire, and it's called Gen X Grown Up. So you got your website, your audio podcast, you've got your YouTube channel where you can find all. It's getting close to Christmas, John. So I routinely turn to your channel around this time of year to figure out what gifts I'm going to get, fellow Gen Xers.
And this is the time of the year to start learning about them. Man, stuff is pouring out over the next weeks and month or two. I don't know how I'll keep up, but it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a retro game nerd fan. Yeah.
I'm circling that mini Vectrex right now. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Yep.
Hey, before we get started here, a very quick announcement. Hey, this is it. This is the week. This weekend, I will be at LA Comic-Con. John, over here, buddy. The Los Angeles Comic-Con, as in Los Angeles, California. That kicks off this upcoming weekend. Starting on Friday, September 26th, and I'll be in and out and around. But on Sunday, September 28th, at 3 p.m. in room 402A, I will be doing a talk about the true story, allegedly true story by those who experienced it, that inspired Stranger Things and Severance, even the TV show Severance, and other aspects, other shows, movies, stories from our pop culture come from this one really crazy story from the 1980s. And if you can't make it, hey, just get your hands on a copy of Totally Bogus but True Tales from the 1980s.
Nice plug.
Got that story and a bunch of others in there. Right. All right, cool.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, who's here today? Let's see who we can see live, because we're right now also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and in theory, Instagram.
It's only a theory so far.
Yeah, I don't know. John, for all of the, you're an exception. I know. You know about technology today.
He is exceptional.
I was going to say for all of the, technology we grew up with, you can't. I feel like I just can't keep up fast enough with the new things that come out.
It's fair. Yeah.
The world is,
It's like they keep iterating and innovating, not always in a direction that's necessary, but to keep things fresh. Like, look at the new features. I'm like, the old ones were fine for me.
Yeah.
Is that what my grandfather meant when he goes, kids keep changing things, these damn kids? I get it now.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
And the speed, it's so hard to keep up. And there's things I want to do, but I haven't had the chance to figure it out yet.
Yeah.
So we do what we can, and we can say hello to Brandon and Marcus and Ted. Hey, Ted. And
Ted.
We've got lurkers. I know we've got lurkers because I see more eyeballs and I see people saying hello. If you're in the chat, say hi. If you're not, that's okay. If you don't want to, that's okay. All right. Otherwise, regardless, hang in there, strap in, hands inside the vehicle at all times, and let's get caught up on 1980s news.
Whoops. I got distracted by your comments.
And your hands got torn off?
I was not following rules.
Yeah.
They were hanging outside the vehicle and they went past that the slasher area of It's a Small World, and every time machetes get you.
Right around that bend where China, you're hitting the Asian area.
Yep.
So Kat, what are you like that on a ride? I mean, you have a problem following the rules?
No, I always follow the rules on rides.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you?
Yes. Oh yeah. I keep everything.
There's not once I go on Pirates of the Caribbean that I don't get my hand wet.
Okay.
I got it just once. I got it just once. Splash, splash, splash. Okay, I did it.
Now,
Are you not supposed to do that?
No, you're supposed to. Kat, you're supposed to keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times. We just talked about this.
Damn it.
yeah.
I guess
Unless,
I
of
did
course,
break
you're
the
John
rules.
who wants to get his hand wet at Pirates of the Caribbean. That's not a euphemism. Literally, I get my hand wet. That's literally what it is.
No euphemisms.
Besides, you probably have a high risk of getting Hep C, maybe? What is Johnny Depp probably from Johnny Depp trolling the waters
It's got to be chlorinated, right?
Yeah. Does that kill it?
I don't taste it. I couldn't tell you. I just.
How do you guys feel about haunted houses at theme parks? This is that time of year where they're very popular.
Oh.
Places like Universal Studios often do ones that are even based on IPs from our youths.
Yep.
You guys a fan of haunted houses? Are you?
Not really. I haven't spent much time in them, but I do like the one at Disney, but it's been forever since I've been in it. I don't know. Have they updated it?
A tiny bit they've updated with some new effects.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, actually.
I would do that.
I went through a cycle with the haunted houses. Like first, I loved going to being scared when I was a youngster, 12, 13. And then I went through that like from 13 through about 30 where I'm like, I'm too cool to be scared. I'm not scared. Everything's rationalized, so I'm not scared. And now I want to be scared again. I want to feel something. Scare me. I'm fine. I don't pretend it's not real. Just scare me.
I cut myself to know I'm alive.
Just I can still feel.
Marcus says, Atari podcast guy found fried at the end of the Jack Sparrow adventure. John, you're going to be known as Atari podcast guy. That's your head.
Atari podcast guy.
I'll tell you, I've been known by worse things in my life, so I'm going to take it.
I don't know, man. I don't mind being scared, but I don't trust other people. Like several years ago, it was before I met my wife, so I know it was, almost 20, close to 20 years ago. I was with some friends. I was in between marriages, and we were at some theme park that had haunted, Halloween evenings or whatever. And there was a haunted house that was called like Phobia. And the idea of it, the concept of it was that they would test you, in all these various phobias. And I thought, well, I don't like that already because I must have some phobias. I thought, the only one that came to mind though was claustrophobia. From being a kid, it was really one of them.
Yes. Yes.
And so I learned that claustrophobia is one of them. And the way they put you through claustrophobia is you get to a point, a room in a house where to get to the next section, you have to duck down and crawl through a tunnel, like a duct behind everybody else who's doing this. And I thought, well, I can make it through. If I were by myself, I could control the speed and have airflow. But if I'm stuck behind some group of people that's too scared or they're waiting for the next thing to happen, I'm just stuck in the middle of a tunnel.
I would have guys butt in front of me phobia. That's the thing that I'd be most concerned about. In a haunted house, don't touch me is the thing. I've seen these haunted houses where you sign a waiver and they can touch you.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I need a barrier. Don't touch me.
Yeah.
Just hands off. My biggest phobia, and how you would do it in a haunted house, is showing up to school and realizing I'm naked. Have you had that? I've had that dream.
They had,
like, all right, for this next room, disrobe.
Yeah, they had that, John. Yeah, because you signed the waiver of being touched, someone tears your clothes off and they shove you into an audience.
Just rip.
Yeah, and all your family's there. Your mom's in the front
scary.
row.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's very scary.
I've never had that dream.
Really?
Thank goodness.
Of John being totally naked.
Really?
Well, that's good. Actually, that's fine. Let's keep it that way.
Yes.
I travel with glass blocks. Wild Thing says Friday Nights at Freddy's. That stuff's scary. Yeah, I know, right? We talk animatronics. Well, they're creepier now, certainly. Brandon says 44 years old and never been to a haunted house. I love horror, but someone jump scaring me makes me instinctively punch. Yes, I know, right? Yes.
Got it. Okay. You're keeping everyone safe.
I told my
Brandon.
daughter
That's
I'm
great.
going to do that because we're going to go to some haunted houses.
Well,
this
except who he's
season.
punching.
Yeah, come on, what do you got? I remember when my kids were little. We were at one of these things, and they do run up to you and try, blah, and a guy was coming over with an axe, and I went. He turned around. My kids were so tiny; they would have been terrified. All right, this has nothing to do with that. This is much more. This is
How
much
did we
lighter
get on
thing.
this topic? I don't remember.
It's spooky season.
Yeah, it's spooky. There's not enough spooky things for us to talk about this week, so but I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Hey, per The Guardian, a man from New Jersey has gone viral after breakdancing at a local town hall meeting. And I think, why didn't I think of this? I should just do this everywhere I go to.
I thought of you, Will. I thought of you going to a town meeting and just,
Oh,
busting out.
let's take a look.
Let's do it.
Let's.
Mr. Thilly, I started your time.
No music. This is how it really was.
Still coming.
Did you know I can do the backspin?
Oh, no.
Anybody? You want to see me do the backspin?
By all means.
No?
That's his friend. I can't believe he's doing this.
You know like the backspin?
Nobody wants to see the backspin.
I'm going to do the backspin.
He's just going to do it anyway, though.
Can I do it here? No, sir. Stay behind the podium.
Here we go. Yep. There we go. That's a terrible backspin. No points.
Why did our taxes go up so much?
That's the best part of the video. When he finally gets up to the podium. It's totally
On a
unrelated.
related topic.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
the part you can't see is when he's done, but go ahead, Will. You start first.
Well, I was just going to say that at the very least, you'd hope he'd say, I'm here on behalf of Ordinance 298, who is restricting the kids from dancing in the park. Something.
And now this.
Anything,
Now filibuster.
No. He finishes the wave. Why did our taxes go up so much? Yeah. What were you going to say, Kat?
At the end, when he's done with his, why did our taxes go up? He moonwalks back to his seat.
Yes.
He does moonwalk back.
I wasn't going to mention that. Yeah.
Silently.
So this is Will Philly. Come on. That's not. You're so Philly.
With Philly.
I'm Will Philly. Woo-hoo.
I didn't even think of that
Yes.
till now. Oh my gosh.
A resident of the township of Cranford, New Jersey, just outside New York City, on September. That's not just outside New York City. That's South Jersey. Come on, Kat, you know that. On September 2nd, he took to the podium after performing this wordless robot dance that we just all enjoyed. As he made his way up the aisle, he spun around, he danced without music, and as you heard, he then ultimately returned to the floor to do what he calls a backspin. The attendees there, as John pointed out, are various reactions. Some are, hiding their faces. Others giggling. Most folks do not. No one, I think, is really encouraging it.
No one's clapping. It's really sad.
Yeah.
He even tried to get them to clap. He raised his arms up like, hey.
And the video I showed you was a little bit edited because when he finally gets to the podium, he realizes he forgot his stuff. So then he runs back, gets his water and his papers, finally comes to the podium and says, "How was everybody's weekend?" And explains how he was in Mexico. And that there's no pizza there, but otherwise it's beautiful and has a lot of history. Anyone here afraid of flying? He adds. I'm not kidding. All of this finally getting to this point of the taxes. Now, I thought, maybe this is a one-off type thing. This guy's trying to get attention, but apparently he's got a track record of unconventional town hall appearances, frequently posting videos of them on Instagram. In these videos, he makes various calls for change, including his complaint about the high taxes here. He is currently also running as an independent candidate for Cranford Township Committee.
All right.
Yeah, does this get people's vote maybe? Or I don't know, the era we're living in as far as politics goes, I really don't know which way this goes, if any. Encouraging you to vote for him or not.
If he can't get anybody to clap for him, how's he going to get anybody to vote for him?
That's his opponent's slogan. Yeah.
His antics wouldn't dissuade me, but I wouldn't vote for him just on the merits of his dancing or the fact that he's willing to dance. I think look, his backspin's better than mine. I got to tell you, I got a lot of rotation, but I know he's got a phone. I know you can Google jam on it and play it real loud. He could have had some music,
It is definitely more cringy than the silence.
Yeah. Just have something to, something to groove along with. But how do I know if he's on the beat? It's all in his head.
Philly explained his dance, saying, quote, "The dance was basically improv, decided almost on the spot. The main goal is to have our local government lighten up and look at the residents as friends and equals. The division and lack of community decision-making is what seems to be our biggest problem. Not to mention, people are overly stressed and taking stuff too seriously.
Oh, well, it's not wrong about that.
I guess. I don't know. I'd say it's the biggest problem.
No.
But he wasn't being disruptive.
No.
He was just doing his thing,
Yeah.
right? You might say if he blasted music, that would be a bigger deal. The what I suggested. But anybody can walk up there and say any fool thing. Is his little dance more ridiculous than some of the things that people walk up there and say? Because when he had something to say, it was pertinent. It was relevant.
Yeah.
But
Yes. And
he's
stayed
not like
within his allotted
the
time.
cameras are watching me on the street. Like it's not like he's not a lunatic. He's just unorthodox in his presentation.
Hey, Kat just sent me a map of New Jersey showing me where Cranford is. Kat, this does not change my mind. It is below Newark. Like I've said to you, anything below Newark is South Jersey.
It's still north of Staten Island.
Look, you're all just in one Yankee bucket. Doesn't matter if north, south of each other, irrelevant. North of the Mason-Dixon, Yankees. That's all. That's all we need to know.
All right. Hey, otherwise in 1980s news, John Brennan says, thanks, John, for name dropping Jam on It. Awesome song.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone says. It's a great
right.
uplifting
Nucleus.
song.
That's right.
In the song, they tell you to boogie to your best ability.
And that's what this guy did. This guy clearly was boogieing just to his best ability. Yeah. No further, clearly. Just how that was his boogie. You saw it all on display.
Did you hear him? He's like, like getting up and down.
He's a middle-aged guy breakdancing, yeah. He pops a couple of vitamin Ds and keeps going. Maybe that's his
Got more in me.
It's his dance name. Marcus gives you 10 points, John, for your soundtrack. And Wild Thing says need
Thank
more
you.
DJ Master Flash. Yeah, something.
I mean, his dance was probably better than Ray Guns.
Oh, that's true, John. You're right.
You know?
You're right. Which was also seemingly made up on the spot. Decided there and then.
Improv.
And music didn't help it a whole lot.
Per the Comic Book Live, believe it or not, the greatest American hero is back again.
Yes. Yes.
I knew you'd be excited, John.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
Look what's happening to me.
He's nonplussed.
Oh,
Isn't that the words? Look what's happened to me.
that's right.
I can't believe it myself.
I can't. Is that what it is? All right, anyway.
Yes.
The TV show, which ran for 3 seasons from ABC from 1981 to 1983, is returning in comic book form in a new series from AMP Comics. The new books will be executive produced by William Catt,
There we go.
the greatest American hero himself. Tanya McKiernan, who's the daughter of the show's creator, Stephen J. Cannell, will help break the story with Don Hanfield, the CEO of AMP Comics. Per McKiernan, watching Ralph navigate his life, Ralph is the character that Cat played, which had been invaded by a supersuit while dealing with Bill Maxwell's pushy demeanor, was the highlight of my day. As my dad often said, quote, fun to write. I look forward to collaborating with this amazing team and can't wait to see where the suit takes us next. Yeah. So much the highlight of my day, too. I loved Superman in 1978, but once again, this show had me getting a towel out from, a bathroom towel and tucking it into my T-shirt and running along as with Ralph and taking my 3 steps and trying to leap and hoping I could fly.
I'll be very curious to see where this story is positioned. Because at the end of the 3-year run, the suit was handed off to the greatest American heroine.
Yep.
So is this going to fill in the blanks, or do you get the suit back, or do you get a new suit? Or I'm sure they'll answer all that because William Catt's there and he knows what he did. He knows what's going on in Greatest American Hero canon. But he was getting better with the suit in later seasons. He wasn't so clumsy and was finding. They made up a new ability based on the plot. Would it be cool if you could shoot a laser? Sure, let's pretend you could shoot a laser. You just figured it out, right? But he would do that. Yeah. But he did get better at flying and everything. So I wonder where they're going to position this. That'll be cool to find out.
Yeah.
Well, along those lines, John, Cat actually helped bring the greatest American hero to comic book once before in 2009.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
No,
different Cat.
Oh, this is
2 T's.
2009 from Catastrophic Comics in Arcana Studios. Now that one, which only ran for 3 issues, updated the pilot and moved it to current time. And in fact, at some point, the greatest American hero meets President Obama.
Oh, so a reboot of sorts.
Yeah, so there's no word if this one's continuing that storyline or like you're suggesting going back to the 1980s. And I would love it. They set the stories, they're in between episodes. They're just episodes we've never
That's
seen.
fine. Sure. Yeah.
If you don't know, and we're talking above your head here, the original show followed a teacher who's just a normal, run-of-the-mill type nebbishy guy who's gifted a super-powered suit from aliens who instruct him to use it to fight injustice. He's teamed up with the FBI agent, I guess? FBI agent.
Correct. Yep.
Bill Maxwell, who I love, played by Robert Culp. That might have been my favorite character of it. There was something about him that was just so old-timey, you know? I mean, he was, he made it big on, what was it, I Spy with Cosby, wasn't that Robert Culp?
Yep.
Right.
But there's just I don't know, something about his sensibility and even him calling women's skirts and stuff, which in the 80s was still appropriate, I think. I don't know, there's something that really appealed to me about him in particular.
His thing was always, here's the scenario. Like, I think I learned the word scenario from Bill Maxwell in The Greatest American Hero.
Yeah.
Like, what? I had to learn, I think. Yeah. What's he mean scenario? Oh, the situation. Got it.
Yeah.
But his little idiosyncrasies like that. He was charming, and he was always frustrated. Did you bring the jammies?
Yeah, right.
You have the suit, right?
Now, if you don't know, or if you're a fan of 1980s pop culture, and certainly the greatest American hero, you probably remember that the character's name was originally Ralph Hinckley, but which changed to Ralph Hanley following the attempted assassination of then President Ronald Reagan by John Hinckley Jr. How they then changed it to Hanley, like in short order, is it used a number of different techniques, dubbing over it. I think it was the second episode. There's a character who says, because his last name wasn't spoken very often, says Hinckley, but they're at an airport, so they covered it with like a jet, like a jet flyby, something.
Yeah.
And eventually they just called him Mr. H almost to cover their ass, it seems, in case anybody else shot anybody up. We could just change it again. We don't have to change it again.
I learned later that they chose the new name because the movements your mouth makes when you say Hinckley are almost identical to when you say Hanley. So when you dub it, the mouth movement matches. It's not like going from Hinckley to Beauregard. It's a similar shaped word in your mouth. Yeah. And so it was easy to overdub without having to reshoot anything.
Smart. Now, this new comic book series that I mentioned, however, is going to restore the character's original name. So once again, he's going to be called Ralph Hinckley, which I don't know why they would go back to that necessarily, except for the sake of nostalgia.
I seem to remember in later seasons, they actually went back to Hinckley once the furor over the attempted assassination kind of passed and was no longer current news. I feel like maybe in the third season. It's been a while since I've rewatched the series, but somebody prove me wrong or prove me right. I don't care which it is, but I think they actually went back to it. But often, as you said, called him Mr. H most of the time anyway. So.
And why would going back to the name Ralph Hinckley be a real thrill for Jodie Foster? Because that's mentioned in this article, and I need you to help me understand that.
It would not. And I didn't say that on purpose because I think that's a really crass and sensitive comment. If you recall, Hinckley tried to kill Reagan because he wanted to get Jodie Foster's attention.
Her attention.
Oh, man. And thank you for.
So she would not.
That.
That's a bad joke. Yeah.
That is. Yes.
Right. This new comic's planned to be released in 2026. And the publisher teased that they will feature signings and a fan celebration at San Diego Comic-Con next year, including a reunion of the cast members that are still with us, including William Catt and others. As John mentioned, in 1986, they did try to continue the series with The Greatest American Heroine. They shot a pilot that NBC this time had wanted to put out there. The show was originally on ABC, and they never aired it. It did bring back some of the characters to pass the torch, as they say. But the premise was kind of weird because it was like the aliens were mad at Ralph because he gets outed as the hero. And now that since everybody knows, they say, look, you got to find a new hero. And once you find a new hero and we give them the suit, we're going to erase the whole world's memory of you being the greatest American hero. And then this new person will be there. And he finds this other teacher, and ultimately she takes over. But my thought was, if the aliens had that power, why didn't they just do that?
Yeah, in the first place.
Right. And maybe they should give it to an Atari podcast guy.
Yeah.
That should be the next,
Now, there was an attempted reboot for television back in, I want to say 2018-ish. And it had they shot the pilot, and it's been in a can. You never get to see it because it didn't get picked up. Really interesting. The character was a young woman. She was a millennial. And what they connected to is her finding her identity and place in the world as a millennial was a parallel to her finding out what her powers were as she's finding herself on multiple fronts, and she found a connection between those. It was a really kind of insightful premise for the pilot, and I actually got a chance to speak to, I forget who it was, some convention I talked to, someone who was in it, and he said, it was so good. I wish that it picked up. It was so good, but alas and alas.
That's John's braggy horn.
What? Oh, is that because I talked to a guy?
He talked to a guy. I thought it was the sound of the pilot not being aired. It just,
just
breezed
passed
away.
us right by.
Passed right by.
Doppler on through.
The pilot. Yeah. Wait!
Come back.
I wanna watch this.
It does seem like there's more to be. There could be more done with this idea. I mean, it's a tale as old as time. Literally, the hero's journey. This idea that where a regular person could have this call to adventure that they fight and ultimately accept, and then go on to become a different person by the end of it. So, in that sense, it's not a new ground, but something appealing and I think could be appealing today still, to have a normal person plucked from obscurity and given superpowers. Not finding out they're a wizard or a Jedi necessarily, but literally handed something where they could, transform themselves instantly and start doing good.
And like Iron Man, wasn't him. It was the suit.
I wonder if there's something. Now, Iron Man made his own suit. Is there something, what is that to be said if someone had to give you the suit? Is it less earned, maybe?
But you got it from aliens, so it's cooler.
What if the aliens were like, look, we've got a suit for you, but first we're going to have to
But it's a birthday suit.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That
We're gonna have
harkens
to
back
do
to
some
your nightmare.
weird stuff first. We have a series of tests we need to conduct to make sure you're going to fit the suit.
Okay.
Atari
Get the
Podcast
super
guy
suit.
says yes.
Whatever you need. Yeah.
Atari Podcast guy says yes. Atari Podcast guy. Fried at the end of the UFO encounter. Hey, another 1980s news. Con! Yeah, the Star Trek iconic villain is back.
Iconic.
Oh, John. Let me do it again. The iconic
There it is.
Villain is back.
Excellent. Well done.
The anxiously awaited scripted podcast series Star Trek Con began airing episodes on Monday, September 8th. It's based on a story by Star Trek II Wrath of Khan writer and director Nicholas Meyer, who also wrote and directed one of my favorite early 80s, maybe it was late 70s movies, Time After Time, which has a time-traveling Jack the Ripper escape to New York City to be chased by a time-traveling H.G. Wells. I believe it was H.G. Wells that chases after him.
Awesome.
So good. But good news, right? This isn't some kind of fan fiction. It's produced by an arm of CBS, who owns the rights to the Star Trek properties. It includes legacy Trek producers Alex Kurtzman and Rod Roddenberry, who Kurtzman's been with Star Trek for a long time, but Rod Roddenberry in particular has been involved has been helming some of the most recent properties, including Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Turns out, way back in 2018, Meyer revealed that he was developing a 3-episode miniseries titled SETI Alpha 5, which is the planet upon which Khan and his followers are exiled. What do they call his followers? Not mutants, augments?
Well,
maybe?
they're augments. They've been augmented. Yeah.
Okay,
that was the whole problem. They were augmented people who had abilities and strength well beyond mortal men, like Superman. But and so he was like taking over the world. He was not only physically and mentally more capable, but he was a master strategist, had been trained to be, and they were about to take over the whole world until they were banished, and augmentation became illegal in the Federation.
Right. And were they developed to be soldiers or something like that?
If that's what they wanted them to be. It was kind of experimentation. It was the eugenics wars that were taking place in Trek mythology. Eugenics wars were taking place. And so you needed better and better people in this. They were using eugenics to make better and better soldiers and tacticians and everything. It wasn't just like a super soldier, like a military kind of guy, but they were a side effect of that until ultimately they were banished, and they went floating through space on a sleeper ship until Kirk and company ran across them.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. Meyer had intended Khan, this show we're talking about, to show what happens between the events of Space Seed, which is the 1967 Star Trek episode that introduced the villain, and the 1982 movie. But after a number of legal and production hurdles, Meyer announced in 2022 that the story would be produced as an audio podcast. Ultimately, longtime Trek writers Kirsten Beyer and David Mack were tasked with adapting the story. According to Beyer, Meyer's original story had to be tweaked to account for the hundreds of hours of Star Trek lore that have been revealed since 1982. much of which she says Meyer was not familiar with.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Now, Nicholas Meyer, going back to 1982, when he wrote, so Wrath of Khan is written by, I can't remember now. So someone wrote a treatment. They hired somebody to write the script. Then they bring in Nicholas Meyer to fix it and direct it. And at that time, he knew nothing. Supposedly he had known nothing about Star Trek. He knew nothing. He hadn't seen an episode of the show. So what he did was he took the best. He essentially made a list of all the best things of the scripts that he had been given, and everything that people agreed on was good. He made a list of those and tried to thread those together with this narrative. One thing that leaked was, and this is a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen Wrath of Khan yet, is one thing that leaked was that in the original script, Spock dies. So what Meyer came up with is to have the Kobayashi Maru as the opening scene, in which it seems like the entire Enterprise is killed. Thus, as he believed, would make fans think, oh, that's what it was.
That's why there was a scene shot of Spock dying, because it was on this simulation, certainly, until it isn't any longer.
Yeah. Which is wild if that's the only reason he worked that in there, because, it's so
smart,
such a part of the Star Trek, mythology now. Anyway,
Yeah.
cutting back to Meyer, again, she said there was some difficulty with just straight up adapting Meyer's story because of his lack of Star Trek knowledge and what's happened in the last 40 years. She said, quote, when Nick first made Wrath of Khan, there were like 80 hours of Star Trek in existence. Now there's like 900. And for better or worse, I have all that in my head. She's been involved in a number of Star Trek properties.
Like
so
John.
I could understand instantly how certain things that Nick were going to actually have massive impacts that rippled out into what now exists that he's unaware of. Star Trek Khan explores the untold events on SETI Alpha 5, chronicling Khan's descent from a superhuman visionary into the vengeful villain seen in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I don't know that there's another property we talked about like this before. I don't know that I care for general stories that try to revise how I feel about a villain.
Okay.
We had a recent example. I cannot remember what it was. But I don't know. The show's early. I've only listened to the first episode, so I don't know what they're going to do. But it seems like the general premise of understanding how he went from one thing to another is this idea of understanding how he could be so motivated, let's say, in the film.
Yeah, you open this can of Star Trek worms, so I'm gonna pour it all out on the table. It's it's a decent audio fiction podcast. The first 2 episodes are out. I've listened to them both about 3 times. It's coming out weekly from now through November, I think. It's about probably 10
November 3rd.
episodes or so. Yeah, and interestingly, they've framed it in such a way that makes sense within Star Trek canon, which I know there's some guest stars you're going to talk about in a second that appear that makes sense based on what we know in the chronology of Star Trek. And the whole idea is, if you remember Space Seed, the original TOS episode,
I saw that.
Marla McGivers was a historian who was smitten with Khan, and rather than being court-martialed because she was kind of backing him and helping him with the ship, though she didn't want to hurt anybody, it was be court-martialed or stay with Khan. And so she is now also a member of this landing party, but she's not an augment. And they kind of weave in a reason for that was not part of canon initially, which I will not spoil because it's a very interesting thing to find out. But the characterization is such that she's very curious about him because he's always been painted, as you said, Will, as a villain. But he was made. He was created to do something. When he did what he was created to do, he was vilified and banished. And his goal was let's take these people and find our own civilization, do our own thing. And at the beginning of this series, he doesn't know the shit that's going to go down on SETI Alpha 5 that's going to make their life a living hell. He's like, Kirk has done us a wonderful favor. When we left on the Botany Bay, we wanted a planet of our own, and we can put crops here and hunt and build a coliseum and all these things. We know what he doesn't know that turned him from this misunderstood guy into someone who is dying for revenge against Kirk because it turns out he unwittingly dropped him off in a hellscape.
Wow. Okay.
So look, you've listened to each episode 3 times now. So you are interested in this idea of, again, they're not retconning his history because it is his history, at least in theory. We just didn't know enough of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Star Trek 2 to me, obviously, is, it's maybe my favorite Star Trek film. I like villains just being villains. I don't need to know why they twirl their mustaches. I get that something happened.
Okay.
I've watched Mindhunter. I understand things happen in people's childhood that make them take certain paths. But, absent some sort of chemical, maybe imbalance, let's say, you got choices to make. And ultimately, he makes these choices that, put him in this really, dangerous collision with Kirk and the Enterprise.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm going to disagree. It's purely subjective. It's a point of opinion. And for an example, I will tell you that initially we know that in the pilot for Star Trek The Menagerie, Spock violates one of the most sacred rules to help out Christopher Pike. Right. Why would he do that? We accept that he likes him and did it. Well, we've gotten a background now between those two characters in the current Strange New Worlds that we understand their relationship with one another. We understand how they grew to love one another and respect one another, why Spock would risk everything. So it makes his actions later make more sense. So in that vein, yes, I can accept Khan as a villain in The Wrath of Khan. I get that. But I think it's going to make it more interesting to see what he has gone through that have led him to be so bloodthirsty and ruthless and to risk everything for revenge upon Kirk, when you would think that simple mistake wouldn't be enough, but there's going to be a lot more hell raining down on him, I think. And I think it's going to add texture to his character that otherwise he's just one-dimensional bad guy. I'd rather know him as a man, how he got there.
So I guess. I really wish I could think of this contemporaneous example, but I mean, I think we've had this argument before. Now, if we could think of it, probably we've had this exact argument. But this idea that I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe Kirk just needs to talk to Khan. I mean, after all, he did put him in that difficult situation. There's such tragedy. I mean, Khan, even without, you're trying to avoid saying things that happen in this, that we know are going to happen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We do know some of what happens because, Khan has this speech where he tells him about, this happened and this happened and this happened.
Yep.
I guess at that moment I'd feel like, oh, you know what then? That's fine. You should be able to have your revenge. I guess I didn't at that time. I guess this whole show might not make me feel that otherwise. Well, I don't know. I think it would be like, oh, well, I can see it both ways now.
Right,
no,
right, both
he's
sides.
bad. And even at the end, he tries to kill them all with the Genesis bomb. All right, whatever.
Yes.
The last thing I'll say is remember, we've also discussed something that you have agreed with, which, by the way, every time Will disagrees, he starts with maybe, and then he moves on with his point. So I knew he was going to disagree. That's fine. Again, it's subjective. But remember, the best villains think they are the good guy. They think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we don't know how that's possible with Khan being so bloodthirsty. I'm hoping, it's too early, I'm hoping that's going to give the context so I now understand why he thinks he's right and doing it. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's just bloodthirsty. We'll see. But I'm curious to find out.
I guess the question for me is when you find out, never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm going in circles. So check it out. It's only an audio podcast. Like we said, it was going to be a TV series, and for various reasons they decided against that, and they changed it into this other format. Naveen Andrews from Lost provides the voice of Khan because, of course, we can't have the great Ricardo Montalban do that. He's no longer with us, and he's joined by a stellar cast, which includes Star Trek veteran Tim Russ, who was from Star Trek Voyager, who played Tuvok, and the legendary George Takei, who returns as Captain Sulu. As to why these two characters, well, I think this is interesting. It's because this story begins 3 months after the beginning of Star Trek Generations. And you'd think, well, look, if you're going to tie these things together, you'd have Kirk there, right? I mean, he was Khan's nemesis. But in Star Trek Generations, as far as anybody can tell, anybody knows from the USS Enterprise, Kirk died.
The Nexus ribbon grabbed him.
Oh, my.
Cat's like, oh, goodness, I hope that doesn't happen to me.
Oh, I have lots of ribbon in my basement. I hope none of it is in Nexus.
Next to tie him on the pipes.
And at this time in history, Sulu is Tuvok's captain.
Yes.
Sulu was the captain of the USS Excelsior, and Tuvok is an ensign.
Established in Voyager, we learned during flashbacks. Yep.
For folks, I mean, you really want to get fucking Star Trek nerdy? As John mentioned,
yes, please.
Kirk didn't actually die at that time. He was trapped in the Nexus for nearly 80 years. He only died after Jean-Luc Picard was also trapped in the Nexus, and he helped Picard stop Soren. Anyway, whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
He always knew he'd die alone.
I want to show John I know stuff about Star Trek. I want his respect. I'm always trying to earn John's
I know
respect.
you know.
It's not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
What's up, everybody? This is your man, Mr. Throwback Thursday from the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. Along with my co-host and friend of over 35 years, Bill, we bring you the latest news on classic hip-hop artists from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. We bring you the hip-hop headlines. We bring you Wu News. It's all about the Wu-Tang Clan. We bring you 2 albums every week, and we have a fan favorite segment called Bill Reads Lyrics, and you just really have to tune in to find out about that one. Check us out every Thursday at MrThrowbackThursday.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, this is pretty cool because there's a new comic book series that is bringing Kirk back to life.
Oh.
So talking about comic book series, on September 24th, IDW Publishing will launch the first issue of their new groundbreaking Star Trek comic series titled The Last Starship. The series takes place in Star Trek Discovery's 31st century.
Oh, my.
Immediately after the calamity known as the Burn destroys almost every starship in the Federation simultaneously when the dilithium crystals implode all around.
Oh, no.
John,
Every warp-capable ship exploded simultaneously because some baby was crying somewhere.
A butterfly flaps its wings. Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, was it? John's not being metaphorical about this baby.
No,
There really was a
literally.
baby. It's
Really?
John. I got to tell you, man. After that whole thing, I abandoned Discovery that season, and I've never gone back. Just the time jump already. I was like, what
I understand.
the hell?
I understand. Yeah, it's a different kind of Star Trek. Yeah, it's hard to reconcile sometimes depending on what your entry point was, and I get it, but
Like real
I'm a
time
diehard.
travel, I feel unmoored. You know, we got to a place where just like the characters,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know anybody. My family was long dead. Everything is new. I was like, this is too much world building. I'm out. And that whole burn I don't even know if we found out enough about the fucking burn. But anyway, look, check this out. This is kind of cool. They got me back in now because The Last Starship, as I mentioned, will see Kirk resurrected during the burn under mysterious circumstances. From there, he'll lead a new ship and crew in an effort to, quote, uphold Starfleet's mission of unity across the cosmos.
because we did find out in Picard season 3 that Kirk's body is in cryogenic suspension at that secret mystery starbase.
Yes.
So,
At the Daystrom Institute. Yes.
yep.
I know. That's what I was thinking, too. Are they going to tie this together? I guess. They're pretty good about that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Because nerds will point it out if they don't connect it.
Well, actually, this I think is pretty cool because not only is he going to have a new crew in this comic book, but he's gonna have a new starship. The USS Omega will make its debut in Last Starship #1. It's an Omega built on the bones of the ancient USS Theseus. Theseus. Now check this out, right? Theseus, the USS Theseus. What they did is, what Kirk and his crew do is they cobble this thing together by scavenging parts from other Starfleet ships across the eras of Star Trek's past.
Until, is it really still the Theseus?
Ah, there we go. Right. Yes, exactly. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Of course, this isn't the first time that Kirk's been resurrected. Shatner, who won't let the character die. No, Shatner previously wrote a series of novels that are informally known as the Shatnerverse that saw the Borg and Romulans bring him back to life and sent to assassinate Jean-Luc Picard.
Yes, definitely full of shat.
Yeah, there you go.
Ner.
Oh, groaning like a guy doing breakdancing.
Oh, yes.
Cranford Township meeting.
Want to see me spin? Want to see it? No one said a word. All right, watch.
Marcus asks if it's the Joker. It may be. I don't think so. Because the Joker's, they really didn't reform him in that movie. I can't think of what it was.
Maleficent?
No, but that's kind of, that's getting closer, I think. Yeah. I did feel that way about that film. I did like the contextualization of that character, though, and that, based on that, those movies.
Yeah.
Ted says some men just want to watch the world burn. Yeah, it's another Joker reference. J. Michael P. Lombardo, if that's your real name, says the god Q was also a character that could change Star Trek realities and timelines. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Oh.
And does.
Yeah, and does. And did recently. Often. Ooh.
Yes.
Ted says, I love the Shatner books where past generations, he was revived on the same planet that had the species that helped, this is so tiny, Viger become what it did in the motion. Oh, is that right? In the book they did that? Okay. As related to the Borg. Oh, all right. I know that. All right. All right. Hey, another 1980s news. Per comicbook.com, a shining character returns in the It prequel. I'm sure you know about this, right? There's an upcoming HBO series, It, Welcome to Derry, which I'm very excited about. It's going to be debuting on October 26th, just in time for Halloween. I wish it was coming out a little bit sooner. I really like to watch as many creepy horror type things and thrillers leading up to Halloween.
Yeah.
It gives you a small window before it's Halloween. But okay, maybe I've seen enough by then. This show will include one of the main supporting characters from The Shining and what seems to be a pivotal role. The series is a prequel to the Andy Muschietti It films, which were adapted, of course, from Stephen King's novel of the same name, which that novel, of course, debuted in 1986. The new show focuses on the supernatural clown Pennywise, played again by Bill Skarsgård, as he torments the townsfolk of Derry, Maine in 1962, which is, if you're not familiar, is decades before the It. Actually, it's multiple decades because the It books are set at two different periods of time, 30 years apart, but decades before those stories take place. But Pennywise is not the only King character from the novel to appear in the show. The Shining's Dick Hallorann is also set to be one of the show's main characters. If you're not familiar with The Shining, either the books or the movie, he's the head chef of the Overlook Hotel. And he becomes an ally to the young Danny Torrance, the character who's got some kind of mystical powers, because he also has the power known as The Shining. Yeah, it's the name of the thing. Yeah, that's what they call the power. It's The Shining, yeah. In the movie, he was played wonderfully by Scatman Crothers. I love that guy, Scatman Crothers.
The voice of Hong Kong Phooey, worth pointing out.
I was going to say, that's probably the main reason. That's probably I love his voice.
Yes.
And then if you watched Hong Kong Phooey as a child before you saw The Shining, it really fucks with your head. To hear the voice coming from this guy who's got these supernatural powers and stuff.
Hey, Chief!
I'm waiting for that his Cheshire Cat looking sidekick to come and help him out.
Yep.
The character, in addition to appearing in the 1980 film, also appears in the novel and its 2013 sequel, Dr. Sleep, in both the novel and the film form. He's not a big character in the original It, though. He's a smaller character. That he's the same character. He has this power, and he uses it to save Will Hanlon, who's Mike Hanlon's father.
Okay.
So there's a place called the Black Spot, which is a bar where mostly black citizens of this town gather, and a white supremacist group burns it down, and a lot of people die. But because Dick uses this power, he's able to save at least Will Hanlon, who ultimately would be the father of Mike, who's a member of the Losers Club, the group that does battle with Pennywise in the 50s in the book, and in the later on in the 80s, and in the movie in the 80s, and later on in the 2010s.
Yep. Right.
Anyway, I am super excited about this. I love the It films, the most recent versions of it, although I know they were kind of divisive.
Divisive.
I don't know why. I thought they were very well done.
I did too. I enjoyed them. Yeah.
So anything more of that lore, I'm all for it.
Yeah, he was effectively ignored in all previous iterations of It. They didn't bother to include that character that I recall at all. And now that they're including him in this prequel TV series, it's like, I wonder, maybe it was too dense. You couldn't squeeze that character into the movies. Was there just not too much going on, maybe?
Yeah. And again, it's such a small thing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of the order of things. A lot of Stephen King's novels have some overlaps. Like Derry is referenced in a bunch of books.
Oh, okay.
And so the fact that he appears in two different worlds, at least, because obviously The Shining and Dr. Sleep are the same sort of story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not surprising, but yeah, maybe it was just too small of a thing as far as you got to make some cuts, when you're making these adaptations. So
yeah. But in a series like this, you have time to explore side paths and learn more about smaller characters.
And what's really cool, and I don't know if it's ultimately going to come to pass in future incarnations of this series, like in another season, or it's within this season itself, but Muschietti had explained that he envisions this Welcome to Derry as visiting Derry and Pennywise in multiple different eras. And Pennywise, for those who don't know, only appears every 30 years to do his, killing of children, to then go to hibernate again for another 30 years and come back. And so he
He's
imagined
like a cicada.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I don't think cicadas kill children.
Oh, thank God, cat. We just got a bunch of cicadas for my kids, so that's how I was texting my wife when you just said that.
Wait, they do what?
Let me tell you that. Keep the cicadas. So it would be cool to see it. It's in the 60s. It's in the 30s. It's in 1900. You know, that'd be really cool. Like before that, before civilization was there, not even before civilization, certainly before the Europeans came over here. What was that area of Maine like? You know, that would be so cool, right? To see
like I want to see him. What was the movie Here? The Tom Hanks movie where you saw the same room through time. Like you want to see all those different times. Go to colonial days and see Pennywise running around, you know, and taking down colonists. And I'd love to see, because he doesn't change. He's the same evil always. And so, but he's every 30 years, he shows up for fun.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this series, but I want to know, is he wearing the same clown outfit all through the years? Or does he change depending
he can be
on
whatever,
the era
right?
he's in?
He can be whatever.
He's pretty powerful, cat. He could look like whatever he wants to look like.
Oh, okay. He's not stuck with like,
but he'd have a powdered
polka
wig
dots
because you
and-
respect.
Yes, he does have a fashion sense. Crying out loud. Anyway, it's suspected that this character will be play a bigger role in this, in the very least, because Chris Chalk, an actor with some impressive credentials. I first saw him in the second season of, I think it was the second season. It was the first season of Perry Mason, the HBO adaptation of Perry Mason. Good. So they cast an actor with some chops. You know, this isn't an extra. Who's going to play the young Dick Halloran in Welcome to Derry?
Oh,
Brandon says, I'm looking forward to the show, and especially looking forward to the Friday the 13th series slated to come out. Yeah, see, John, if this,
the Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Right? Is that Camp Crystal Lake?
Is this Crystal Lake going to make this kid and his mom into some endearing characters, and just something bad befalls them, and now, but for the events of this prequel, they wouldn't have killed a bunch of teenagers in subsequent stories.
Right.
Oh.
Kat, I'm going to try it. Kat, you ready?
yes.
Maybe, but
Yeah. See, I lowered my guard when you said that. Yeah.
But maybe you're full of crap.
Hey, another
That's very good
1980s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I just thought of something. We have to go back in time, and you can edit this back or delete it. Don't care. But I thought of another great parallel was the series all about Norman Bates, the Bates Motel.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to learn all about Norman, his entire upbringing, and you got to know what made him who he was when we met him later in the. So I'm drawing a blank. What's the name of the movie? The Bates Motel.
It's called Bates Motel, isn't it?
No. The
Psycho.
Psycho.
Oh,
Thank
Psycho.
you. I'm drawing a blank on the. I was stuck on the series. Right. So you got to know who he was before he got to Psycho, and.
Right.
So that's another one of those examples. And again, maybe you didn't care for that, or like learning. You just want Norman Bates to be a weird psycho that has his dead mom in the attic and not know why. And that's okay for you.
Yeah.
But I think there is a subset of people that like to know the context and the texture of that character before they got to that point. So.
I feel like it's just a way of milking IP. Like if you think about it, okay, here's another good example for you. I want to say it's Psycho 4. That Anthony Perkins wrote and directed and stars in, and I believe he was in all the Psycho films. And in 4, by 4, he's reformed. He knows he's had therapy. He knows what he did was wrong. All this stuff. He's out of jail. He's done his time. And the most of the movie, if not all the movie, he's on the phone. Right, I'm trying to remember this, calling into a radio show to try to help them stop some other serial killer or something like that.
Oh,
Really?
Interesting.
I never saw that one.
This is like Hannibal Lecter, I think, but I'm calling it. It's something like that. And I think, well, it makes you care about, this character, again, who's just an awful person a few movies ago.
Well, and 30 years in prison ago also, which I think ought to count.
Yeah.
For something.
Marcus says, so Will is fine with learning more about Pennywise's backstory, but not Khan's.
There we go.
Yeah, but
See, there's the contradiction.
because Marcus, the prequel doesn't reform Pennywise. If we find out he was just a sad little clown until somebody touched him, then yes, I don't want to see that.
You just want to see more murders.
I don't want to know why he's a killer. He has no excuse, is my point. Don't try to make me feel bad about him. And he's some kind of intergalactic or interdimensional being or some shit like that. I don't want to go to his other dimension where he has a family of clowns. clown spiders, because that's what he is. He's like a big spider. He really looks
He
like a
is?
spider or something like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
His true form, he's
Like
this
his actual state, right? His true form is like this weird. He's a creature.
Weird
He's an entity
alien
that takes the form of this clown.
I did not know that.
Cat, the
Ooh.
movies are good. They're really well
Are
done.
they good?
Yeah.
They're
You gotta
scary.
go climbing
and-
through the through the sewers and visit him.
Yeah, it's good.
I
There's
do
this-
know that. There's like a red balloon in a sewer and his
There is
head,
that.
and I just didn't know
Paper
anything
boat.
else.
Yeah.
Blood. Yep, it's all in there.
Marcus says that's how everybody gets to be a clown. Yeah, I don't know
Wait,
if I'm
what?
gonna-
Being a spider entity or
No,
somebody touching?
I
him?
think so.
What?
Yeah, do I got to cut all this
Oh,
out? I'm not trying to be insensitive. You know I'm not.
Okay.
No.
I'm trying to say these.
To clowns or
All right, John. Now you're taking me down a path.
Or to
I gotta
con.
cut a lot of stuff out now. 'Cause
okay.
Con, yes, to con. Hey, finally, as reported by Variety, Jack Black and Paul Rudd are reimagining a classic snake horror movie. Now, look, I know this is outside of the 1980s, but I'm dying to talk about this. And you're gonna see me crowbar the 1980s into this discussion. But first,
Do it.
let's check out a trailer
We've seen you
for
do it before.
Anaconda.
I love this.
So,
The 80s connection is so easy, Will. It's so easy.
is.
It's right there.
yeah, you got it? No, you don't got it.
Oh,
Of
You're
course.
teasing me.
I need it.
I'm not going to steal your thunder. Go.
Oh, okay.
Go. It's Sir Mix-a-Lot, right? Come on.
No, that song actually came
No.
out in
You
the 90s.
got a better one? Oh, okay.
But that's okay. But he's from the 80s. Yeah, there you go. I love the way they use that music. And in fact, if
I
you
do
think
too.
that bass line, right, the intervals of that bass line is not unlike a scary movie.
Yeah,
minor-
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little minor, in there. Yeah.
Minor intervals.
Little interval.
So Tom Gormican, who helmed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is, I actually enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Which was also similarly a meta
Nick Cage
movie.
film, right?
Yeah, Nick Cage and Pedro Pascal. He also penned Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, which I liked, which was
Oh, okay.
is a good legacy sequel, as John would say, because it continued so much of what was great about the first film. Co-wrote and directed this new Anaconda movie. And despite sharing a title with the 1997 thriller, it's not a remake. Hopefully you gathered that much from if you've seen the trailer.
Yeah. It's a
of the
cool
ori-
concept.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really cool.
Instead, it centers on this group of friends who are facing midlife crises and set off to remake the movie just as they intended in their youth, which I think is funny, by the way, because in 97, these guys were not in their youth, right? I mean, these guys are slightly older than we are, and we were in our 20s in 97. So
Yes.
whatever. Anyway, they set off into the jungle, and then things get real quickly. The cast includes Tandy Newton, Steve Zahn, Daniela Melchior, and more. And it premieres on Christmas. I love Christmas movies. Do you guys go to movies on Christmas, Thanksgiving, on holidays?
I have. It's not a tradition, but I have done it and I enjoy it.
Have on occasion. Yeah. Yeah. It's nothing else to do. Look, we're full. We can't move. We might as well get in the car and go see a movie.
Yeah. I almost feel as bad for folks having to work in a movie theater during the holiday as I do for folks working at a store on Black Friday. But they don't have the threat of violence, when they're working at a movie theater, at least.
Yeah.
It's people filled with joy, usually with family and friends that they're otherwise spending the holiday with, coming in to have a good time.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to this. And like I mentioned a few episodes ago, and I had a chat with Dustin Morrow on an upcoming episode. He's a host of a podcast called The Long Rewind. And he's also a professor of film, written books on the subject and so forth, that I wish more films would do this. We talk about genre switching, he and I do. This isn't exactly that, but in a sense it is, because it's leaning a little more comedy than it was horror to begin with. But they've also taken the original concept and done something new with it. They've not just repeated it. Now, as John points out many times, legacy sequels are an effective way to go if you're looking to continue something in the vein of a franchise. But here's another way, which I think is, equally, if not, depending on the particular film, I guess, more effective.
I think maybe if you're just listening and maybe didn't hear the whole trailer or haven't watched it yet, from what I can get from the trailer, they live in our universe, not in the Anaconda universe.
Right.
They also have watched the movie.
Yes.
And they just want to remake it and then inadvertently end up in their own real life Anaconda movie situation in the course of trying to remake the movie we already know.
Mhm.
which is a cool little meta twist on it.
Yes, very
That,
meta.
as you said, is another creative way that I had not thought of to go back and visit a film that has recognition without just rehashing the same film.
I really want to see this, even though I haven't seen the original movie. So
Mhm.
now I need to watch that, and then I can go enjoy.
Yeah, I'm
it.
not sure you do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't think I do?
Every
No?
sense I
Okay.
got, you don't. Yeah, it's not a.
Oh, okay.
It's not in
Yeah.
any way continuing it. Yeah.
Okay. That's a
And you
good
get the
point.
premise from this one. A giant snake attacks a bunch of people in a jungle.
Is that it?
Yep.
Yes, that's all
Pretty
it is.
much. Yep.
I can.
There you go.
Already have that in my head.
Special effects are
Imagine Jaws, but a snake in the swamp.
exactly. Yeah. And the special effects are a mix. Some of them are more effective than others, but the ones that are not good are not good. Yeah.
And they look quite good in this trailer, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it looks great. Now, here's, John, you got me thinking about my 80s connection here because, you said you had not thought about this before, but I'm going to give you an example of someone who did. The late, great Wes Craven. So after he
All right.
made A Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984, he had very little to do with the franchise. In fact, he did not want to make any sequels. He did not think this movie should be a franchise. He thought 1984's Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, should even have a happy ending. They had to add this tag on, which let the question open as to what happened. But he didn't want
Like
any
all
of
horror
that.
movies. Yeah.
So when they made the
Yeah.
second film, he wasn't involved. He did sign on to co-write Dream Warriors, but they didn't like his original idea. He didn't get to do his original idea until years later when he did a new when he did A New Nightmare, and at this point he he had the ability to make something closer to what he had imagined, darker and less comical. The original film there's nothing funny in it. I mean, anything that's that's humorous, I suppose, or provided there to give the audience a breather, before they do something real scary. But in the films after that, a part of that, long line of 80s films that mix comedy and horror, and oftentimes in a way that's not that effective. Craven did not like that about the subsequent films, so he wanted to bring it back to what he imagined as the darker roots. So he makes A New Nightmare. What is the premise of A New Nightmare? Wes Craven plays himself. Robert Englund plays himself.
Oh.
Heather Langenkamp plays herself. These are the original folks involved in the original film, and they've gotten together to make another Nightmare on Elm Street film.
So this is the movie.
This is the movie.
Oh.
As you see them getting together to make this film, it turns out that Wes Craven, who wrote the original film, we learn that he based it on a real thing, and that real entity comes stalking them on the set. The quote-unquote real Freddy Krueger starts knocking off the stars of the film as they're there to make a movie about him. Yeah.
There's the connection.
And they maintain the conceit of this, even though Robert Englund plays both versions of Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
They maintain this conceit throughout the credits, even where at the end you have Robert Englund, playing himself, and Freddy Krueger also playing himself in the end credits.
Himself. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Now
It's the real one.
It's the poorest film in terms of box office in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but it's still beloved by fans and scores highs on these rating aggregators. And it's credited with inspiring later meta horror films like Scream, which Wes Craven directed a few years later. And
Cabin in the Woods, I can imagine, is kind of in that vein.
Yep.
Yeah.
And The Blackening is another one. The Final Girls.
Right. Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
these movies that then, take this sort of, outside look at films and use the tropes. They even comment on the tropes within the films while using the tropes or creating new
right.
tropes.
Mhm.
But that's all thanks to Wes Craven's genius and his interest in trying to get back to what he wanted the Nightmare on Elm Street series of films to be. And I think this is kind of part of that idea, where they're making a movie about something that starts to happen to them in this Anaconda reboot.
Yeah. I had never seen that Freddy
So clever.
fourquel. I guess it was the fourth probably in the series.
I
I never saw that one. I didn't know it had that conceit.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I want to say New Nightmare is probably the 8th Freddy Krueger or Nightmare on Elm Street
Oh,
film.
really?
Yeah, something
That's
like
that's
that.
why. I grew tired of them. I'd seen enough by the second or third one probably, and I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, I get that.
Because that had to be what, early 2000s, right?
The movie I just mentioned,
Yeah.
it was in the 90s.
Was it in the 90s?
Yeah,
Okay.
Did I not say when it was? I don't know. Sometime.
Yeah,
in the
you probably
90s.
did, and I just ignored you.
You can make him reach in the trash again.
Because Scream
into the
came out a
bucket.
few years later, and that was in the late 90s, I think.
Anyway, so they got like 8 movies in 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, they were cranking them out.
Wow.
Yeah, which again, he wasn't a fan
Okay.
of that. Yeah. Regarding Anaconda reboot, Marcus says this concept is awesome. The soundtrack being an orchestra playing stems from Baby Got Back is fucking awesome. Jack, and this is an aside he makes here, saying Jack Black was young Pitfall Harry in a commercial, and that guy had to run away from a lot of snakes. Oh yeah, that's funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was Pitfall Harry. He was in the Pitfall commercials. Right?
Yeah, and he was a kid
Well,
playing it. Yeah.
He was a kid wanting to play, and he had Pith helmet on, truly.
Yeah.
Which Pitfall Harry does not wear, incidentally, in the game, but that's okay.
So Marcus,
Actually,
Brennan says, I'm glad to see Steve.
I'm giving partial credit. Partial credit.
Okay, very good. Brennan says, I'm glad to see Steve Zahn again. He is great and doesn't get the recognition he deserves. Yeah, I love Steve Zahn. He's been in that, he plays a real kind of a heartbreaking role in that show Silo. That was on Apple Plus. This like dystopian show. Anyway, there you go. All right. Hey, we'll look forward to seeing that. And there you go. All right. Hey, that's the show. Let's get out of here.
Oh,
All right.
Before we get out of here,
okay.
we need to tell you that our show is brought to you thanks in part
Yes.
to our early adopters, Karen Flieger and Rick Parker.
Yay.
And thank you especially to our Secret of Our Success level Patreon supporters, Brandon Greer,
Yeah.
Marcus Taylor, Matt Marino, and John Henderson.
Hey, thank you guys for helping bring this show to life every week. Yeah, it's a legacy sequel, week after week, where we continue whatever we did in the last show.
Yeah.
Inevitably, Kat uses a callback from a show that's several episodes ago, and nobody knows what she's
Did I
talking
do that
about.
this time?
No.
love it.
You haven't done it in a while, but I'm just trying to make
I love
a joke.
it. It's a payoff for the hardcore listener. I love it.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about a backdoor pilot when you started talking about the greatest American heroine. But then I was like,
that was a backdoor
no.
pilot. You're right.
No,
it was.
I can't say that because Will's going to give me a hard time if I do.
Why? What do you? I have no idea what you mean.
No,
Because
that's what it's called.
of the
Backdoor
chips.
pilot.
The chips.
Because you didn't
episode.
know what a backdoor pilot was at the time.
I learned what a backdoor pilot was.
Yeah,
on the chips
that's fine.
episode.
Yeah,
Versus a full frontal pilot. It's the other thing.
John's nightmare.
Only at school.
Yeah, at pilot school when he's learning to be a aviator. All right, hey, no, seriously, thanks guys for helping bring back whatever this is. You may regret it and cancel your contribution. That's fine. But if instead you'd like to join these fine folks, go to 1980snow.com to find out how you can help do those things, or go straight to patreon.com/1980snow. Do something. Do all the things. If you got no money, that's cool. I get all that. Just please subscribe to the podcast platform you're listening to right now. You can go over to YouTube and subscribe there. We put videos of our ugly faces. And
Heck yeah.
what else?
Hey, speak for
Follow us
yourself.
on Facebook. That helps too. All those things, right? All right. Hey, come and see me. Come hang out. Come say hello if you're in Los Angeles on September 28th at 3 p.m. Room 402A. I'll otherwise be wandering around. You could just message me and maybe we can meet up and say hi. Okay. We will talk to you next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
From hell's heart, I stab at thee.
Yes, Corinthian leather.
I could have said fine Corinthian leather.